Welcome back to the Mind Vault. In part 1, we deconstructed the architecture of your identity. We exposed the 1% rule, hacked the dopamine loops of desire, and learned how to make our habits obvious and attractive. But desire is useless without execution. You can dream of being an athlete, you can crave the body of a fighter, but if you do not move, you are hallucinating. Now, we execute. In this session, we unlock the third law, the physics of laziness, and the fourth law, the biology of satisfaction. We will learn why the most productive people are often the laziest, how to trick your brain's time perception, and the uncomfortable truth about your genetics. If you are ready to complete the upload, let's begin. Let's start with a dark truth about human nature. Laziness is not a character defect. It is a biological imperative. Your brain is designed to conserve energy. For our ancestors, energy was scarce. Wasting energy meant death. So, evolution wired you to choose the path of least resistance. You are not lazy, you are efficient. The problem is, in the modern world, the path of least resistance leads to the couch, the smartphone, and the drive-thru. To build habits, we must stop fighting this gravity. We must use it. The third law is, make it easy. Concept 1. Motion versus action. There is a dangerous trap that smart people fall into. It is called motion. Motion is planning. Motion is researching the best diet. Motion is buying the running shoes. Motion is strategizing. Action is the behavior that delivers the outcome. Action is eating the broccoli. Action is running. Why do we get stuck in motion? Because motion allows us to feel like we are making progress without the risk of failure. It is a form of procrastination. It feels like work, but it produces nothing. Voltaire once said, "The best is the enemy of the good." If you want to master a habit, the key is to start with repetition, not perfection. Consider the photography class experiment. A professor at the University of Florida divided his film photography students into two groups. Group A, the quantity group, they will be graded solely on the amount of work they produced. 100 photos is equal to A, 90 photos is equal to B. Group B, the quality group, they would be graded on the excellence of one single photo. They only had to produce one, but it had to be perfect. At the end of the term, who produced the best photos? It was the quantity group. Why? Because while the quality group sat around speculating about lighting, composition, and theory, the quantity group was out there shooting. They were experimenting. They were failing. They were learning by doing. They honed their skills through the sheer volume of repetition. The quality group was paralyzed by perfection. The lesson: you don't need to map out the perfect workout plan. You just need to do a mediocre workout 100 times. Standardize before you optimize. You cannot improve a habit that does not exist. To make a habit stick, you must reduce friction. Friction is the energy gap between you and the behavior. If your gym is 20 minutes away, the friction is high. If your gym is in your garage, the friction is low. If you want to check your phone and it is in your pocket, friction is zero. If it is in the other room, friction is high. Strategy. The environment reason the most disciplined people do not have more willpower. They just have less friction to overcome. They reset the room for the next action. When you finish working, close all the tabs on your browser. Set out your workout clothes the night before. Put the healthy food at eye level. Unplug the TV after every use. You are playing a game of design versus willpower. Design always wins. Strategy. The 2-minute rule. This is the ultimate hack for procrastination. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read one page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for class becomes open my notes. You might think, this is a trick. I know the real goal is to do the whole thing. But you are missing the point. The point is not the workout. The point is the gateway habit. You are mastering the art of showing up. A habit must be established before it can be improved. If you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, you have no hope of mastering the details. Do the easy thing. Establish the neural pathway. Once the art of showing up is automatic, then you can expand. What about bad habits? We must increase friction until the behavior is impossible. In 1830, Victor Hugo was facing a deadline for The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He was 12 months behind schedule. He spent his time entertaining guests and procrastinating. So, he did something radical. He collected all of his clothes, his suits, his coats, his pants, and locked them away in a large chest. He gave the key to his assistant with strict orders not to return it. He was left with nothing to wear but a large gray shawl. He couldn't go outside. He couldn't host guests. He had no choice but to write. He finished the book 2 weeks early. Delete the app from your phone. Leave your wallet at home so you can't buy junk food. Ask the waiter to box half your meal before it even arrives at the table. Lock your future self into the behavior you want. We now arrive at the final law. The fourth law, make it satisfying. This law deals with the reward. Here is the problem. The human brain evolved in an immediate return environment. If you were a caveman and you saw a berry, you ate it. Immediate sugar. Immediate energy. If you saw a predator, you ran. Immediate safety. Focusing on the now kept you alive. But today, we live in a delayed return environment. You go to work today, you get paid in 2 weeks. You go to the gym today, you don't lose weight for months. You save money now, you retire in decades. The dark psychology of addiction. Bad habits almost always provide an immediate reward, but a delayed punishment. Smoking. Immediate stress relief. Delayed cancer. Good habits almost always provide an immediate punishment, but a delayed reward. Gym. Immediate pain, sweat. Delayed health. The brain overvalues the present and undervalues the future. This is called time inconsistency or hyperbolic discounting. To hack this, you must add a slice of immediate pleasure to the habits that pay off in the long run. Strategy. The habit tracker visual proof. The most effective form of motivation is progress. In 1993, a bank in Canada hired a 23-year-old stockbroker named Trent Dursmid. He was a nobody, but he had a simple habit. On his desk, he had two jars. One was filled with 120 paper clips. The other was empty. Every time he made a sales call, he moved one paper clip from the full jar to the empty jar. He didn't stop until all 120 clips were moved. Within 18 months, he was bringing in $5 million to the firm. This is habit tracking. 1. It is obvious. The paper clips are right there. 2. It is attractive. Moving the clip feels like progress. 3. It is satisfying. You get a small hit of dopamine when you complete the task. Get a calendar. Put a red X on every day you stick to your habit. Do not break the chain. The chain is the reward. Strategy. The accountability contract. We care deeply about what others think of us. This is an evolutionary survival mechanism. To be cast out of the tribe meant death. We can weaponize this fear. Create a habit contract. Brian Harris, an entrepreneur, drafted a contract. If I don't track my food intake for the day, I must pay my trainer $100. If I don't sprint on Saturday, I must pay my wife $500. He signed it. His wife signed it. His trainer signed it. Suddenly, laziness wasn't just an option, it was an expensive penalty. Knowing that someone is watching you is the most powerful immediate punishment you can create. Now that we have built the system, we must address the elephant in the room. Talent. Is success just about habits? Or does biology dictate your destiny? The truth is nuanced. Genes do not determine your destiny. They determine your areas of opportunity. Consider Michael Phelps and Hijam El Guruj. Phelps is 6'4", with a short torso and long legs, the perfect build for swimming. El Guruj is 5'9", with a long torso and stick-thin legs, the perfect build for long-distance running. If they swapped sports, they would both be mediocre. Phelps would be too heavy to run. El Guruj would be too short to swim. The secret: habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Don't fight your nature. Exploit it. How do you know what you are good at? Ask yourself, what feels like play to me but looks like work to others? What makes me lose track of time? Where do I get greater returns than the average person? Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Once you have the habit, how do you stay motivated for years? The human brain loves a challenge, but only a specific kind. If a task is too hard, you give up. If it is too easy, you get bored. You need to find the Goldilocks zone. This is the state of flow, a task that is roughly 4% beyond your current ability. You need to constantly push the envelope just enough to stay engaged, but not enough to break. But here is the final, darkest test. The greatest threat to success is not failure. It is boredom. When a habit becomes automatic, the dopamine fades. It stops being exciting. This is when the amateur quits. They say, I am not motivated anymore. They jump to the next new diet, the next new business idea. But the professional? The professional shows up when it is boring. The professional shows up when it hurts. The only difference between the elite athlete and the gym dropout is that the elite athlete finds a way to fall in love with the boredom. You cannot rely on motivation. You must rely on the system. We have reached the end of the manual. We have explored the Sorites paradox. One coin does not make you rich, but add enough, and you are wealthy. One workout does not make you an athlete, but add enough, and you are strong. James Clear leaves us with this final thought. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. The goal is the direction. The system is the vehicle. So I ask you one last time. Are you the victim of your programming? Or are you the architect? The code has been revealed. The tools are in your hands. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. Stop looking for the quantum leap. Stop looking for the magic pill. Look for the dust. Look for the 1%. Because if you can get 1% better every day, you don't just change what you do. You change who you are. Here is your final mission. Scroll down to the comments. Tell me, what is the one small habit, the 2-minute action you will start tomorrow morning? Not, I will get fit, but I will put on my shoes. Write it down. Make it a contract. If this video rewired your brain, destroy the like button, share this with someone who is stuck in a loop, and subscribe to Mind Vault. We are decoding the human mind one layer at a time. I am Mind Vault. Tiny changes, remarkable results.